Hey, good morning. It is Tuesday, September 17th. I want to talk about a subject this morning that I think a lot of us need to really come to grips with. And I'm going to start off with a story by Jim Rohn. It's called The Frog and the Scorpion. You know, the frog is standing by the edge of the pond, and he's getting ready to jump over, lily pad to lily pad to lily pad. And all of a sudden, the scorpion comes walking up to him and says, "Hey, Mr. Frog, are you thinking of going over to the other side? Because if you are, could I get a ride from you?" And the frog looks at the scorpion and says, "Why would I do that? Everyone knows that scorpions kill frogs. I'll get halfway over to the other side of the pond, and you're going to sting me, and I'm going to die." And so the scorpion, being the scorpion, says to the frog, he says, "Well, wait a minute, Mr. Frog, use your tiny little frog brain. Think about it. If I kill you, I can't swim, I'll die too, so why would I do that?" So the frog thought about it for a second and said, sounds right. Hop on. Just get on. So they get on, they're going, and everything's going smooth. They're going from one pad to the next pad to the next pad. And then about halfway across the pad, the frog feels a sting. He's shocked. His body starts getting paralyzed, and the head's barely above water. Scorpion's the same way. Scorpion's struggling to keep himself afloat. Frog looks at the scorpion and he says, "But Mr. Scorpion, why did you sting me? Now we're both going to die. That makes no sense." Scorpion very calmly looked at the frog and said, "Well, that's easy, Mr. Frog. I'm a scorpion, and everybody knows scorpions kill frogs." I used to tell that story to a friend of mine, and that person always hated that story, and I never knew why until I realized that that person was probably the scorpion. And unfortunately, we don't realize that. But the moral of the story is people are who they are. And you know that going into it. Jim Rohn says liars lie. It's what they do. And think about that. It's what they do. They lie. And then we get upset. We willingly know and hang around someone who is a liar or a cheat or a thief or a backstabber or gossips or is immoral or whatever else it might be. And we choose to be with that person. And then when they do those things, whether it's to us or somebody else, we get pissed off about it. Why? Like Jim Rohn says, you knew who they were. The only person you should be mad at is yourself for being mad, because you knew going into it who you were dealing with. And that's a key, folks. If you understand that and you know going into it who people are, you can now respond better. But you got to be honest with yourself to understand that's the type of person you're dealing with. Because look, when you start to convince yourself that they're not that person when they really are, folks, you're in for a lot of hurt. Look, I've been there. You believe someone is someone that they pretend to be, but you know really deep down who they are. Look, it stings, just like the scorpion. It stings, and that's your own fault because you knew it. So pay attention, folks. People are who they are. It doesn't mean people can't change. Don't get me wrong. Change people, change things. That means their actions change, their words change, the way they behave changes, their goals change. They start to change from the inside out, and you can see that change. But when you constantly see someone who's constantly lying, when you constantly see someone who's being dishonest, when you constantly see someone who's lazy, and that's from an employment standpoint. A lot of employers out there are mad because certain workers aren't getting the job done. And instead of letting them go, they keep them on their payroll and they get mad about it. But they know that that person is who they are, that when they walk out the door, they're not putting in the effort. When they walk out the door, they're watching TV on their phone, or they're texting, or they're Instagramming, or they're doing whatever, and they're not putting forth the effort. And then as an employer, you get mad because you don't have the results you want, but you knew that's who you're dealing with. So rather than fix it and cut ties with them, you keep them, and all you want to do is bitch about it. So look, I tell people all the time, quit bitching about it. Quit bitching about those people, because you invited them in. You let them into your house or your head. You did. You knew who they were. So folks, we got to be very careful about that. The frog and the scorpion is a great story. And again, if you tell that story to someone and they don't like it, it's probably because they're the scorpion. Think about it. It's a great analogy. Just people are who they are. And unfortunately, their patterns don't change. They stay the same. And if you look at those things and you look at those patterns, you can become aware of it. Same thing with companies. companies that don't do you right, companies that, tell you that they're in there for your support, but they're constantly doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and you get mad about it every time you find out about it. It's no one's fault but your own. You're the one that's got to face the reality. You're the one that's got to say, hey, you know what? I chose to keep putting myself in this situation. It's no different than walking up and your mom says, hey, the stove's hot, don't put your hand there. And you put your hand on the stove and you burn it. You're like, man, that hurt. Your mom just told you it was hot. You shouldn't have put it there. Then there's the stove again. You walk by and say, yeah, I wonder if it's still hot. You put your hand on it. Look, that's you, folks. That's you. It's no one else. It's your decision. We got to start making the right decisions. And a lot of it's got to be the people we choose to hang around. But once we choose those people to hang around, if you're going to hang around people that lie, cheat, manipulate, that don't do you right, that don't treat other people right, that gossip, that cause drama, don't be upset when it's in your life. If you're inviting it in, the only person you have to be upset with is you. So folks, be very, very aware of that. Be very, 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 very aware of that. Understand, what you're going to accept is going to continue to be. And when you accept people like that in your life, when you accept, the no results, when you accept the drama, when you accept the lies, when you accept the cheating, that's all you're going to get. You cannot get mad about it, because that's who they are. They say leopards don't change their spots. I do believe, and I said this a few minutes ago, people truly can change, but they've got to put forth the effort to change. Not for you, but for themselves. And you'll see the change. You'll see the growth. You'll see the fact that they've changed who they are, who they're surrounding with. When they tell you something, they keep their word. When they tell you that they're going to be there, they're there. When they tell you they're committed, they're committed. When they tell you they love the company, they show the love for the company. When they tell you they want to help see you make your company profitable, they're there to make it profitable. They're not hiding stuff. They're not trying to get stuff done behind your back. Folks, and that's all on you. And you've got to understand that. And when you can walk away, you're in a better position, because then you no longer have to deal with the scorpion. Just remember the story, folks, the frog and the scorpion. Scorpions kill frogs, that's what they do. Don't invite the scorpions in your life if you're the frog. Scorpions are looking for frogs. They're looking to convince them that they're going to be there for them. They're going to be their buddy. They just want to ride. Again, choice is ours, folks. Choose wisely. Don't get upset at them. Be upset at you for allowing the situation to continue. The frog and the scorpion, your choice.